is out here to support him.
Hopefully it's SID or somebody at University of Washington will get that up there. That's an instant classic. Put his name up on the marquee in all caps. Bryan Clay dominates Bryan Clay for the second year in a row. Here's heat number 2 now of the women's invite. Annika Reese of Northern Arizona, Jesslyn Brees of Northern Arizona, 2 athletes there. Another athlete from Northern Arizona, Megan Van Pelt. So the Lumberjack ladies, Nikita Moore as well. So 4 Lumberjack ladies in this second heat. Colette Lowengrub of UC Riverside, Sarah Schmidt of Indiana, Irene Rono of Abilene Christian, Lydia Miller, Lipscomb. We've seen Lipscomb perform very well in these 5Ks. And they've got Miller in this heat, Samantha Steve of Wisconsin, Heidi Nielsen of Arkansas, Brenda Eunice Flores Munoz of Gandhi, Casey Monozle of Valor Track Club, Lily Tomsula Martin, a stalwart for Colorado State, right in there in wearing hip number 13, Paige Carter for Boston College, Danielle Ori and Gabriel Ori. Danielle Ori of Wisconsin, Gabriel Ori of Colorado, Yasmin Margini of Boise State, Racina Machu of Gonzaga, Fiona Hopkins running unattached, Peyton Sheepy of Bradley, Courtney Klatt of unattached, Linda Perez running unattached, Linda Perez of UC Riverside, Mia Beckham of Butler, Caitlin Barthel of Colorado, Rachel Sutliff of Tennessee, Taylor Rowe of Oklahoma State. She's actually our defending champion in this event, running in heat 2. Not sure if she's doing some pacing possibly, or actually she's a scratch. And then there's Nikki Hiltz of Lululemon. Hiltz, let's take some time to talk about Nikki Hiltz. It happened so quickly because she was running so fast. It was a great finish between Hiltz and Michaela Rhodes of LSU in the 800 earlier today. Hiltz slid by on the inside, ran 1:59.03. That is their personal best. That is number 1 in the world right now at 800 meters for Nikki Hiltz. And here she is, or here they are back pacing the 5K invitational section. And
it's great for them too because they got the 1500 meter title just 2 months ago at USATF Indoor Championships. So their first title that they've had for USATF, hopefully many more to come, and they are the world lead in our 800 run today.
A true breakthrough year for Nikki Hiltz, and this is a victory lap for Hiltz. A victory 6 laps or so as they are pacing this section of the 5,000. They are charged with 76-second laps. So we'll keep an eye on that. 76-second laps would end up being 15:50 and get the field under 16 flat here in heat 2 of our invitational section. Right behind Hiltz right now is number 17, Yasmin Margini, tucked right behind Hiltz. I wonder how Hiltz feels after running 1:58. It's been a while. You cool down, you probably eat something, you come back, you have to warm back up, and then now you're running 76-second laps to help out the field here.
Yeah, she did have a 6-hour break pretty much in between those 2 races though, so I'd imagine she feels pretty good, even if she starts to feel tired at all.
Yeah, they might be a little tired, but one thing I love about this sport is here you got a professional, a national champion, just ran a world lead, and they're giving back to the sport, coming back, doing yeoman's work for this field. They've got no reason to do it. They're not pacing a teammate. They're not pacing a friend.
Yeah,
they're just doing work, giving back to the sport.
High too.
They benefited from being in races like this that were paced well and set them up for big-time achievements, and now they're giving back. That is great to see. Nikki Hiltz back out here pacing this race.
Yeah, they really are having that breakthrough year.
All right, we're coming up on 1,600 meters. That is Taylor Rowe now in 3rd spot. Rowe ran a big 10,000 meters last weekend or 2 weeks ago. That was one of the top times in the country. They were the defending champ of Rose, the defending champ here, ran 15:21. We saw Kemboy break her meet record. I don't know if Roe is in there to pace, help out teammates, if she just didn't want to be in the fast section to maybe just get some solid work in, run a national qualifying time without the pressure of saying, hey, I need to go 15:20 and maybe just run 15:50 and get a national mark. I don't know. We'll wait and see here. It's kind of interesting to see her in that second section. Number 5 right now is Sarah Schmidt of Indiana with those candy striped shorts of Indiana that were made popular by their basketball squad back in the 70s and 80s, and the many great teams that they had, and those were their warm-up pants. And now Indiana Athletics has started to adopt that across their other sports. I love it. It's easy for us to spot, and it also is a distinguishing characteristic of them. So lead pack right now behind your pace setter Hiltz. That's Boise State's. Sorry, I believe that's Boise State. Indiana's
Taylor Roe from Oklahoma State.
Sarah Schmidt. Let's keep an eye on the Northern Arizona crew in this race. They were 6th in the cross-country championships, the second highest finish ever by a Big Sky school, also by NAU on the women's side.
Yeah, and usually when you talk about the distance side of NAU, you're speaking more of the men as they have more of a dominance in the past, but the women have really made strides to kind of cover that.
And you can see Brees right there. So you have Reese, Brees, and I believe Stern or Van Pelt in there. And all three were key part, yeah, and they were all key pieces of that 6th place finish in cross country. I think Reese was 47th, top 50 finish, knocking on the door of being an All-American. Brees was a top 5 finisher, a scorer for them. Van Pelt was in the top 7. So that is the core of that cross country team for Coach Mike Smith that was 6th at the national championship. So they're on display here, a big force in the Big Sky Conference and starting to make some waves at the national level.
Yeah, Perez from UC Riverside has moved up into that 4th position along the outside, so she's definitely right there to make a move if anyone covers. Hiltz kind of is starting to break away from the rest of the pack. We'll see how much farther they go.
76 was the charge for Hiltz. They were supposed to go 2,400 meters, I believe, so we are coming up on that. We'll get a check on the split here, 7:30, so they're looking for
7:36 for Hiltz.
So that puts them right at 15:50 pace. Perfect pace for Hiltz. You can see Roe and Marghini of Boise State at the front. So it's Marghini and Roe. They've been kind of content to be right there, sub-16 effort. And that might be all Taylor Roe's trying to get done today. Just break 16, notch a national mark to go alongside her 10K. And like you said, Perez having a great run for Riverside, moving up there. Sub-16 run would be a monster run for UC Riverside's Perez. Obviously, Brenda Martinez is the biggest star to ever come out of UC Riverside, and they haven't had a woman running at that level since then. They've had a lot of good talent there, but a sub-16 5K would be awesome for Perez, and that's the pace that pack is on right now. They seem content to let Hiltz be out there, but they're not running a ton different than Hiltz. I mean, Hiltz is running 76s, and the rest of the pack is probably running 76, 77 as well. It's more of just, I think they know Hiltz isn't racing, and so they're content just kind of trading jabs with each other there in that main pack. I would expect Hiltz to step off here, and
she's still going.
They are still going. Look, they looked at their watch there. They're coming up on, I believe it was supposed to be 2,400 meters, but it might be one of those things where it's go until it doesn't feel comfortable anymore. And as they look back over their shoulder, I kind of feel like they're getting ready to step aside without breaking anybody's rhythm.
Yeah, they really let the rest of the pack kind of group back up on them. So
11 athletes coming up with 2 kilometers to go, so Hiltz did a great job of getting a huge crew through. All of them have a sniff at breaking 16 minutes. This is set up so well for these athletes. I am
still going.
excited. You got to think that these coaches have got to be licking their chops that this is set up so well for their athletes to break 16 minutes.
At this point, you wonder, too, does Hiltz just try to go out and finish this thing?
Yeah, I don't know what the reason were other than just a workout. Sarah Schmidt of Indiana beginning to move. Hiltz is known for their finishing kick. We saw it in the 800. Always a great finisher.
Looks like Hiltz is moving off now.
At the national championships, they had a great home stretch run, and now she steps aside. Great day for Nikki Hiltz. A world-leading mark in the 800, doing great work here. Getting these athletes set up to break 1600, and now it's Sarah Schmidt's show from Indiana. Taylor Rowe. I mean, this should just be a walk in the park for Rowe at this point. I wonder if she'll even kick off of this. And look at Lily Tomsula of Colorado State. Lily Tomsula Martin. I feel like she's been at Colorado State forever. Been a great 10,000 meter, great 5,000 meter runner. Every time I'm doing one of these meets, she's right in the thick of things. Lily Tomsula Martin has just been a great force there. And look at the trio, well, at least 2 there from NAU. And then that's number 8, another athlete from Lipscomb, Lydia Miller. Lipscomb's having a night in the 5K. They've already won 2 heats.
We're talking about Lipscomb a lot.
Lydia Miller. So Lipscomb, I believe they're in the Sun Belt Conference, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the Atlantic Sun. Sometimes I get those mixed up. But they're in Nashville, and they've got a great program year in and year out there in Nashville. Taylor Rowe just kind of cruising along. Sarah Schmidt looks good. She's somebody who's going to be a factor. Don't lose sight of Perez having a great run there for UC Riverside. Good shot as the field comes through. A lot of these women right here are going to run 16:20, 16:15. Remember, that mark of breaking 16:20 is kind of important for getting a national qualifier. All of these athletes are Division I athletes up here. So number 23, we haven't talked about her. That's Mia Beckman of Butler. She's kind of on the back end of that group. Now here goes Rowe. I guess that was the move, you know, a mile out.
Take off.
And maybe it was like, hey, let's just run 16-minute pace and then go with a mile to go. Interesting. You wonder what the plan was, but, you know, I think more than anything it was just get a mark without the intensity of that invitational section. Coach Dave Smith there at Oklahoma State, one of the top coaches year in and year out. Always seems to push the right buttons, and this is an interesting move for Rowe. She was so impressive here last year. I mean, I think she had a good freshman cross-country season, but this meet last year was kind of a coming-out party for her. She was laid off the pace early and just absolutely mowed through the field en route to 15:21. I think she just flashed a smile right there to her coaches. I don't think a 15:45 or a 15:40 run that she's going to run has ever looked easier than this has for Taylor Rowe. So there's Taylor Rowe, you know, sandbagging a little here in the second heat. But so we'll kind of look back and look at the rest of the race to see what's going on there. Now that is Northern Arizona's Annika Reese having a great day. This is a breakthrough run for Reese. She was top 50 in the country in cross country, and now with 2 laps to go at 13:22, she's got a shot to run under 16 minutes. That next group also has a shot to run under 16 minutes, and then the pack across the finish line now is in that 16:15 to 16:20 range, getting those national qualifiers. So the top half of this field, actually most of this field, is going to potentially get one of those national qualifying marks. Taylor Rowe is just cruising along now. Solid effort for her. And now, what about Reese? Reese is really going to be the story out of this section if she can get it done. Her first time under 16 minutes. And Lydia Miller now is in third. Lipscomb has been running great today. Can aggregate all of their marks, and I think the Lipscomb coach would be very thrilled with that effort. You make the trip out from Nashville, you prepare for this, and they come, and the athletes have delivered. And Lydia Miller running well Northern Arizona running in the 2 and 4 position. Schmidt still looking good for Indiana. And look at Riverside's Perez. She still has a shot, probably not to break 16, but to be under 16:10 with a lap to go and notch a national qualifier. Rowe is just cruising. Reese looks pretty safe in second, but let's keep an eye on Miller and Reese's teammate. I believe that's Reese, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Rowe's got this one in the bag. She's opened up about a 30-meter gap. Reese does have a good gap on second, but it does look like Miller from Lipscomb is trying to push. I don't know if she can do quite enough to catch her, though.
Reese, Miller, and I believe that is Brees. And then Schmidt. So a good battle for second and third, or really third and fourth.
Reese is kind of coming up on Rowe. I think the gap is a little bit too much, but
wants to kick. She just kind of blew the field up and just going to kind of cruise in. But Reese having a day. This is really the story of this field. You can tell Rowe looking back, making sure she's got the heat one, but keeping her powder dry. Look at Lipscomb getting it done right here. Lydia Miller, 15:48, ho-hum for Taylor Rowe, 15:50. What a run for Reese. A bunch of other women under 16, and it did look like Perez of UC Riverside does dip under 16. Linda Perez, what a run for the Hill women, or the Highlanders of UC Riverside, getting well under 16 minutes. That's a great run there. And you know what? Nikki Hiltz really set that up. That pack, there was just a huge pack all there with about a mile to go, all on pace for sub 16-minute run. A nice heat there. Nothing, no major fireworks, just a lot of solid running front to back in that race.
yeah, I bet Taylor Rowe just came out here. She wants to get that national qualifying mark.